This is Chris. Thinking about this week's discussion question regarding the city of Seattle, and whether I think the approaches for cities like Freiburg, Kirita, and Singapore would work there. Um, I have to think it probably would, and I think in some ways they're trying to do some of that stuff. One of the neighborhoods the actual neighborhood I went and looked at in one of the previous summits, actually a neighborhood called uh, um, Northgate, and in that neighborhood, they are actually in the process of building more public transportation and ways to get around that city using more sustainable transportation like footbridges and bicycles. So I think in some ways they're already starting to look at that. They do have the opportunity as they're looking at some of the older neighborhoods, kind of redesigning them to work that way. Um, I think the biggest obstacle for this probably is going to be getting kind of away from that mentality of designing these roads around a car. The biggest piece is that for a lot of American cities, that's the main focus of designing these cities. That's where the main thought process goes in how to do that. So now, kind of changing that mentality to really look at these other modes of transportation beforehand will be the biggest challenge for as they go forward. As regards to whether or not I think I could live in a city like this, I do. I spent a couple of years actually without a car living in downtown Boston. I did commute outside the city, but for 2 years, I just the places I was living wasn't easy to own a car, and it made sense not to have one. And actually, I kind of liked it. Walking around the city, I actually got to know the city a lot better. I got to see areas of the city most people would never see while they're driving by because you just don't have time to stop and look around. But when you're walking through the city itself on foot, you really have a lot of time to sit around and kind of look and see how things come together and find the little nooks and crannies that we otherwise would miss as you're kind of whipping by that area. Um, I do think it would be harder for me to live in cities that are like Brazil and Singapore that are more densely populated. Freiburg would probably be more my speed in the fact that I do tend to like a little bit more personal space. Um, I think that's a piece that could be a little bit difficult, but as far as living closer, as long as you've got these great green spaces where you can relax, um, biking around the city, walking and doing that stuff, I definitely think is something I would be, you know, willing to explore.